Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. Today on the podcast, we need to talk about what's going on in Central America and how coffee producers in Panama, Honduras, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua have been affected by Hurricane Eta. Hurricane Eta has dumped a record amount of rain in regions of those coffee producing countries and absolutely devastated life, land, and infrastructure. As a result, we've seen landslides, massive flooding, we've seen mudslides, and we've seen dams break to the point where they've devastated everything. They've broken bridges down so that people are now isolated. They can't escape. They can't get to other regions to safety. We've seen landslides cause buildings to be crushed. This is coming off the back of two other crises, the pandemic as well as the coffee price crisis. Most producers in those regions that are affected by Hurricane Eta will not be able to come back. This is devastating to them. It's devastating to all of us in the coffee value chain, but it's devastating to what the future of coffee is. These are producers who were already under the stranglehold of two crises that came before that. To now expect that they'll be able to rebuild from this without our help is unreasonable. If you aren't following Cup of Excellence, please consider following them. This past weekend, they posted that they will be putting together initiatives to help devastated producers in those regions. Darren Daniels and his team are some of the most well-intentioned people I've ever met, especially when it comes to how to help coffee producers realize success and fair prices in coffee. This is not something that they're going to let slide, and they will be putting together initiatives. Excuse me. So please go and follow them so that you can find ways to support producers that have been affected. Folks, if you are of the opinion that climate change is not going to affect coffee production, this is an absolute moment that is going to challenge that ideology. This is not a normal occurrence for those regions. The way that they have been devastated, most of them will not be able to come back from. If coffee from those regions is removed from the value chain. And think of it this way. If you're somebody who every year gets coffee from Guatemala, that may not be a possibility for the next few years. If enough coffee producers in Guatemala have been affected by this, and that's yet to be determined how large the devastation is, whether it be Guatemala or Honduras or Nicaragua or Panama or any of the other regions that will continue to get affected by Hurricane Eta get affected. If we remove that coffee from the value chain, it means that all the other coffee gets skyrocketed in price. That's a potential real thing that could happen. The more and more this happens. Now, if you are somebody who counts on coffee from these regions for your supply to your consumers, you have to rethink your whole business model and the way that you're going to present new coffees to your customers. I know that there are roasters around the world who just flat out refuse to get coffees from Africa, and they refuse to get coffee from Asia. Now, if Central or South America is the only places that you get coffee from, you've just had that supply chain become incredibly limited. They are major coffee producing regions from that area. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to reconsider your position if you think that climate change is not a real thing and it's not going to affect the coffee value chain. Please remember to follow Cup of Excellence. Please reach out to producers that have been affected or producers in the region that haven't been affected, and let them know that you're here to help in any way that you can. We need to help these folks however we can, and this is important to do now rather than just ignoring it because somebody else is going to take care of it. We are the somebody else that is going to take care of it. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.